You remember when Ludwig would do a Reddit recap every week in 2020? Or when Mark Rober responded to Call Me Carson's invite to his pool tournament? Oh man, remember the Among Us era? Or the chess tournament where Felix lost in one move to Charlie? Remember when Schlatt did a stream from Misfits HQ? Or when everyone put heart filters on his face right before he went to TwitchCon? Remember Minecraft Monday? Remember when Ludwig and Felix met for the first time at NMP Lol's house? Remember Eat Pant, Golnar? The last time you watched Twitch was probably like 4 years ago, and likely for good reason. You're an adult with things to do. What do you need to watch a guy that plays 6 to 8 hours of Minecraft for? And hey, I'm right there with you. I'd rather do homework than watch another You Laugh, You Lose. This guy is all grown up, but nowadays if you listen to Tommy talk for long enough, you might hear him reference something called the Ludwig subathon. It was a revelation for Twitch at the time. I mean, a streamer going live without turning off their computer? It certainly wasn't unheard of. For some WoW players, this was like their day-to-day. Ludwig was after Ninja's subscriber record. Ninja, at the time, had set the world record for being in possession of the highest amount of Twitch subs at a single point in time, with the help of Drake appearing on his stream to play Fortnite. That was around the time that Pokemon Go was big. Now, the Ludwig subathon was a feat. It was incredible to witness both as an avid fan and as a regular observer of Twitch. Everyone that found themselves familiar in Ludwig's chat and his stream knew they were taking part in history, and Twitch had revolved around him. He joined Trainwreck's Scuffed podcast to talk about it, and he had the likes of XQC and Mizkif clawing for a chance to do their own. Now, Twitch has a tendency to cycle through these things called metas, where a streamer will take a game or a type of stream, and it'll be adopted by many other streamers throughout the sphere. For example, World of Warcraft, with the creation of the OnlyFans Guild, and famously Among Us, becoming both popular within and outside of Twitch circles due to its virality and appeal. The subathon, too, was an example of a wide-spreading meta, with the event not only sowing the seeds within the minds of other streamers to embark on their own, but catching the precious eyes of people that didn't even watch Twitch. With the amount of popularity that he was garnering, it wasn't an impossibility that you could turn on your living room TV and find Ludwig doing unbanned forums or talking about mobile money. Metas on Twitch were an imperative for culture, especially during 2020 when streamers saw a marginal uptick in viewership. The subathon was only one example of a meta on Twitch, and Twitch had a history of many. And besides, 2020 was a tumultuous time for a lot of people. How were streamers supposed to come up with new, innovative ideas without something like TwitchCon, where streamers tended to huddle together and stream in groups? Well, the answer is a lot more collaborative and jarring than you might think. My name is Cunk, and today I'd like to show you what happens when a nerdy website meant for gamers meets the real world, and the beauty that emerges from it, and why its performance in 2020 holds a soft spot not only in my heart, but in the hearts of many, even after all these years.
So,
this is gonna be real bad.
What? They're floating. Now, SMPLIVE had already been in full swing at this point in time. It had been since 2019. The Minecraft world was taken by storm when Call Me Carson had banded together a group of Twitter users and up-and-coming Twitch streamers in order to make a server. It was only once Ant Venom got invited that a wave of Minecraft creators from his sphere then too chose to participate in SMPLIVE and its events on their own accord. A Minecraft server's popularity is often determined by who receives an invitation. Like, for example, the later popular Dream SMP, who had huge names like Pokimane and Lil Nas X and Jack Manifold. Often those flourishing creators who deeply involve themselves in the lore of these servers also receive eyes from the larger creators' fan bases. This is, aside from a tribute to Minecraft being seen and advertised by a tweet from Notch, in part how Schlatt came to fame. You had huge names for the time on the SMP. Nicholas Cantu, Skydoes Minecraft, and even Captain Sparkles, who made an appearance through a creation of a replica of Fallen Kingdom. SMPLIVE was like a bastion for old viewers and new viewers of Twitch and Minecraft alike. There was like this surreal discord that surrounded the project. Like, these content creators shouldn't be here together on their one server. It was just funny. The precedent humor of SMPLIVE was most definitely the reason for that. While it was far from serious, it made its mark in gathering old viewers and new viewers of Minecraft YouTube. Having them all in one place made for an exciting and new viewing experience that the viewers loved. Other big Minecraft-related Twitch metas that took off after SMPLIVE's fame included both SMP Earth and Minecraft Monday, which were, just like SMPLIVE, events that gathered streamers from all sects of the Twitch sphere to participate. In the case of Minecraft Monday, it was a huge deal for both the content creator and their chat. Content creators were paired with a Minecraft pro to participate in Keemstar's version of the MC championships. Big and established creators like Techno and Afmao and Bajan Canadian were seen competing against newer and smaller streamers at the time, like Prinios and Connor and Schlatt. It was a spectacle to behold, frankly. It happened every Monday and left viewers with something to look forward to every week. SMP Earth was a separate beast with a huge player pool. A segment of streamers that had parted ways from SMPLIVE created their own server. They created a full-scale model of Earth, and streamers parted into factions in order to create their own bustling countries. This server saw the return of some SMPLIVE members, with the addition of many new streamers to compensate for the server size. This is where YouTubers like Tommy Innit and Tubbo were able to get the opportunity to talk to bigger streamers. Tommy and Techno had their first interactions on this server. All of this, though, serves to the importance of SMPLIVE as the origin to the resurgence of Minecraft as a cultural icon, not only on YouTube, but Twitch as well. All streamers from across the sphere took notice of SMPLIVE, including Ludwig, who at the time was a recent college graduate getting away from his job at Snapchat. When he was only getting a few hundred subs on YouTube, he decided to make a brand new stream segment starring some unique faces. Faces that, at the time, I don't think even he believed he would get in contact with.
Expected to be this long.
Travelers filing into Logan Airport were hoping to get out without a hitch, but it wasn't smooth sailing for some Delta flyers Friday evening who were stuck in seriously long lines just to drop off bags.
It is so sucky. Yeah, it's unfortunately long.
Twitch Jeopardy, while not a very influential meta compared to other Twitch metas, was one of Ludwig's first series, and his most important one. He was known largely by the Super Smash Bros. Community for his commentary over Smash matches prior to it, eventually evolving into a variety streamer. The very first recorded Twitch Jeopardy was done in 2019 with current members of the art, and eventually, with consecutive Twitch Jeopardy streams, led into one of Ludwig's most popular videos at the time. A Twitch Jeopardy featuring Schlatt and Connor Heath Pants versus Call Me Carson and Charlie Slimesicle. This video hit the algorithm and not only exposed Ludwig to the SMPLIVE audience, but to a host of new entertained viewers that were elated to join his Twitch chat. I mean, this was my first exposure to Ludwig in the entirety of SMPLIVE, which at times feels a little surreal. Like, who is this guy? You know? I remember when you had pimples on your forehead and when your eye was like all the way down here, which it still is, but he doesn't like to mention it anymore. Ludwig, in time, became popular enough to play with large-scale streamers. One meta that was largely popular on 2020 was the Valorant meta. Ludwig became acquainted with the OTV crowd during this time. One thing that people assume about OTV, by the way, is that Among Us became popular due to Corpse Husband, XQC, and them. But this is only partially true. Among Us was picked up by Sodapoppin, who otherwise is a World of Warcraft streamer and currently leads OnlyFangs, OTK's WoW guild. Suffice to say, Among Us was a revolutionary meta for 2020, obviously making appearances far beyond Twitch and even YouTube. The waves it left in pop culture not only acted as a glint of light to guide regulars back together at a time when they were apart, but it also acted as a rope to tie and bind streamers back together. Collabs expanded far past just Among Us, though. There were other unique and more dramatic collab streams to be had. Drama in Among Us lobbies were only the beginning.
They don't move, there's no physics on them.
I know. Flat. Flat. Please. Got static nuts.
It's Among Us being
It's Among Us porn, if you're wondering what this is.
Oh no. The nuts of the guy don't move, they don't swing with the motion. It's really funny.
Aphrodite, I'll send it to you. You're gonna
Austin Show was one of the biggest proprietors between collaborations between streamers. I mean, if you think about it, shit camp wouldn't have been so damn awkward without it. In a very similar vein to The Bachelor, the previous title for Lover Host was The Rostular. A selection of streamers would join one Discord call, Zoom call, in order to pursue either love from the main guest or access to all of their viewers once they finish stream. Austin would typically ask an array of questions to the awaiting streamers in relation to the main guest before asking them who they'd like to vote out. These would be questions like, where would you take them for a date night? Or like, what would you cook for them? Not only would all of the viewers from each individual stream join up in hopes to be there for the drama spurred from the pretty insane selection of streamers and pairings, the guests too tended to be pretty tight-knit and friendly with one another, both on and off stream. Except this bitch, holy shit. Cutie Cinderella, the host of the Streamer Awards, actually made her foray into popularity through Love Her Host. On one stream, she said that the way that she found success in streaming was just floating around the League of Legends directory and finding people to be social with. This eventually led her to Austin's show with the likes of Minx and Candyland. On the idea of collabs, TCAMP was a pretty shocking thing to witness at the time. You had people like XQC and Schlatt sharing one room together. People loved it. Like, they had XQC and drag. What more could you ask for? With Love Her Host eventually leading into TCAMP, it made for a very unique meta. One not circumferencing a game, but instead a group of people. It wasn't uncommon to hear streamers chatting about how they wanted to be on a Love Her Host or be invited to TCAMP. There's this Reddit called Livestream Fails, or LSF, that abbreviates Twitch streams into short clips that tend to spread pretty wide. Unsurprisingly, whenever there's a large event like this, it tends to be full of clips from it. Twitch right now is in a very game show-esque meta. These can be as small as NMP LOL's trivia shows to as large as OTK renting out whole studios to host D&D or Wheel of Fortune. They're huge events, and it's always surprising to see this is what Twitch live streamers are capable of. But what about the people? Where do they come from, Who are all these thousands encompassing these chat rooms? And, who are they? What do they get up to that warrants so many eyes on them for so many hours at a time? Well, you'd be surprised at the audience that dedicates themselves to these things. Now, mind you, these are just fucking people. They're just people, right? They're just human beings with some form of ADHD and no social skills. But I think that's what makes them so appealing to the internet. They can see themselves in these streamers. Now, there are plenty of reasons a person might not want to stream. Folks that spend a large amount of time inside and on their computer have pretty much every reason to be ashamed, right? You tend to picture the average World of Warcraft player to be just a guy who leaves their desk looking like the elephant's foot and smelling like a Chuck E. Cheese. There are so many people just ashamed to be themselves because of this stereotype. These people don't make themselves known because they know what it means to hold some dignity, and that's pretty fair. I mean, you could die doing this shit too. I mean, Ludwig has to deal with swatting, NMP LOL has had to deal with people calling him during IRL streams, and people sending his mother threats while playing WoW. It isn't a pretty profession. It's scary. And putting your face out there. Like, what if your mother sees you sitting there gambling your life savings away? What if your college crush sees you baking a shitty cake? But I mean, if all these streamers are going live, then there has to be some value to going live on Twitch, right? A lot of streamers have simply started streaming because they wanted the sense of community that comes with it. Look at Iron Mouse, for example, the Twitch streamer who broke records this year in her subathon and won Best VTuber in the Streamer Awards. She got her start on Twitch out of a desire to make friends, and now she's one of the largest live streamers in the world. She deserves every bit of recognition. I remember seeing Maya's song for Wreckful in 2020, and the amount of support spread not only in her chat, but to everyone that she affected all over social media, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. It was incredible. Byron had this profound effect on me and all these other people's lives as though he was Twitch's big brother. The amount of love that people are capable of on this website and the ability that people have when they're able to bring people together for one cause is moving. Countless viewers have filled the comment sections and chat rooms of these live streamers, showing their support for these people. Streamers are just regular folks, and that makes others feel seen in a space where they've never felt seen otherwise. And you know what? I get it, man. I was inspired by Tommy's recent music video. He flashed a list on the screen with some streams and videos that made him the happiest. What in the arduous time of being a content creator inspired him, what he found comfort in. I made a playlist of all the videos I used to watch myself. I watched Lunch Club videos when I got home from high school just as he did. One of my favorites was when they went into OTV headquarters and took all their shit. Schlatt had his cap down and shot Scar with a minigun. It was sick. Or the video when they went into an abandoned mall that Swagger and Fitz just rented out. Tommy in it, man. Throughout his life on YouTube, he's been constantly inspired by the work of streamers and YouTubers that have worked their asses off just to get where they are. He kept notes on them and replied to their tweets. I'm right there with him. I can understand the idea of basing so much of yourself around these people, around Minecraft, around Twitch. Twitch in 2020 meant so much more to people than just a space to watch others dick around. It was a platform where, at the time, people had none. It was a home to settle down in. It was a world to feel yourself in. Content creators often say to keep creating on the internet, keep being cringe, and eventually you'll find your sphere. These streamers, their communities, their schedules, their segments embody that sphere daily. And Twitch's audience is changing. People love Kai Cenat. He's so popular, so mainstream. Twitch is a mainstay in culture now. solely because of people like him, and that is awesome. The top of Twitch is a revolving door, and that's how it'll likely always be. It's like a flower always blooming. I felt pretty outcast in high school. Schoolwork was a cinch for me, and being a pretty geeky kid, I kept to myself. When I got home though, I had a Reddit recap or a Pogo Stuck video to look forward to, and I'd watch all of them, except for You Laugh You Lose. I was not watching that shit. But today my Twitch subs go unrenewed. I don't have much reason to renew them. I get up at 7 a.m., I drive to my job, I go to class, I settle down at home to do my homework, and then I go to bed. Every now and then YouTube recommends you something out of your watch later playlist. It's strange, I never click on them. The other day I got a VOD out of a random night during Ludwig's subathon. There were bits of that video I could recall, segment for segment. I'd mouth out the memes and laugh at the memories of them. I couldn't help but cry about it. It wasn't anything somber or anything like that, and I definitely wasn't sad. I don't know. This video only had a few hundred views, but it just felt like mine. It wasn't mine, it belonged to Ludwig and his viewers, but this would be a video I would put on all the time, every night. It was a window into my past, a reflection of the kid that I was. A version of me just on my screen, sitting there in my inbox. This one video pulled me back to a time when nothing held gravity like it does now. A moment in my life when time didn't feel like it was slipping through my fingers. When I didn't feel like I was aging. When things were simple. When I was, well, happier.